Some of the heaviest moments of your whole week are hiding inside the smallest questions. Let's sit with one of them. Someone asks where you want to eat, and the truest thing you feel isn't a preference. It's please anyone, just pick for me. Not because you don't care. If anything, you care too much. It's that choosing has quietly started to cost you something. And it's not just dinner. It's the group chat where everyone's asking, what should we do? And you type, honestly, I'm fine with whatever. And mean it with your whole chest. It's handing your partner the remote because choosing the show feels like one more thing you don't have left in you tonight. It's you order for me. It's standing in the paint aisle holding two nearly identical shades of white, quietly wishing someone would just point at one. Some days you're just tired of paying. The usual story is that you're indecisive, that something's a little broken in your ability to just choose already. Here's what most people are never told about this. The problem was never the deciding. It's what deciding quietly makes you responsible. And your mind has started treating that responsibility like a bill it can't quite afford. So, by the end of this, you'll understand why a 5-second question can feel strangely heavy. Why handing the choice to someone else brings that little wave of relief. Why you can run a whole project at work but freeze completely on what's for dinner. And why none of it means what you've been quietly afraid it means about you. Here's what's actually happening. When you make a choice, you don't just spend a little effort, you become the person who's answerable for how it turns out. If the restaurant's bad, you picked it. If the movie's a slog, that's 2 hours everyone sat through on your call. If the paint dries a shade too cold, you'll see it on that wall every morning for the next 5 years. Researchers call the pull to sidestep all that responsibility aversion. And in a study published just this year, when people were put in charge of a decision, they didn't actually get worse at deciding. They just felt less sure of themselves. And that drop in confidence, all on its own, was enough to make them want to hand the choice to somebody else. Sit with that, because it's the whole thing. You're not handing over the choice because you can't think. You're handing over the part where you'd have to carry it if it went wrong. And here's the first, oh, that's why. Have you ever noticed you can plan an entire project at work? Timelines, trade-offs, a dozen real decisions before lunch, and then come home and stall completely at, what do you want for dinner? It looks backwards. It isn't. At work, the responsibility is shared. There's a team, there's a process, there's a we who got it wrong if it goes sideways. Dinner is all yours. There's no one to spread it across. So, the tiny choice ends up carrying something the big one never did. The whole weight of being the only one to blame. Now the second layer. Your brain treats mental effort like a budget it's quietly guarding. When something feels expensive to work out, uncertain, high stakes, or just one more thing on a day already stacked with 100 small decisions, it goes looking for a way to set that cost down. That's not a malfunction. Offloading effort is one of the most efficient things a mind can do. The same good instinct that makes you set a reminder instead of trusting yourself to hold it all in your head. So when you get home after a whole day of deciding what to answer, what to prioritize, what to say in that meeting, and someone asks what's for dinner and your mind just goes blank, that blankness isn't failure. It's a budget that's already been spent. Some quiet, sensible part of you has run the numbers and said, this one costs more than I've got left. The relief you feel when someone else picks is just the sound of a weight being set down. And there's a version of this that almost nobody says out loud. Some of you are the one who always decides, the one the family asks, the one the group defaults to, the one at work who ends up making the call because, well, somebody has to. And here's the quiet cost of that. When you're the default decider, you don't just make your own choices. You carry everyone's. Every I don't mind you pick lands on the same set of shoulders. Yours. So, of course, by the end of the day, when it's finally your turn to want something, the wanting itself feels like too much. It's not that you've lost your preferences. It's that you've been spending them on everyone else all day for years. If that one landed a little too hard, that's the part I most wanted you to hear. But there's another layer, and here I don't want to sell you a clean answer. You've probably heard that we each get a limited supply of willpower, that we run out of decisions the way a phone runs out of battery. It's a satisfying story. It's also, honestly, pretty shaky science. When researchers tried to reproduce it carefully, the effect mostly melted away. So I'm not going to tell you your tank is empty and hand you a tidy little life hack. What's truer and gentler is this. Some choices genuinely cost you more than they cost the person standing next to you. Maybe you feel the weight of getting it wrong more heavily. Maybe you've been the responsible one for so long that your mind flinches at one more thing to be accountable for. When that's the case, handing a choice off isn't weakness. It's real wisdom. Actual budgeting. Letting your partner pick the restaurant so that you can just be there, present, instead of quietly managing one more outcome. That's not you failing to decide. That's you choosing to spend your energy on the part that actually matters, the being together, not the where. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes it's worth softly asking whether you're protecting your energy or quietly protecting yourself from ever being the one who chose. There's a real difference between I'm too tired to pick the movie tonight and I never picked the movie because then, if it's bad, at least it wasn't me. One of those is rest. The other is a small, understandable fear, wearing rest clothes. And both can be true in the same person, in the same week. You're allowed to offload a choice out of kindness on Monday and dodge one out of fear on Thursday. Neither one makes you broken. So, what do you do with all this? Not a system, just one small noticing. Next time you feel that pull to say you decide, pause for one breath and ask yourself one honest question. Is this a choice I'm too tired to make, or a choice I'm afraid to be wrong about? You don't have to fix the answer. Just knowing which one it is changes how it feels. If you're tired, handing it off is you being kind to yourself. No guilt required. And if you're afraid, the fear was never proof that you're bad at deciding. It was proof that you care what happens. That's not a flaw to fix. That's a tender thing to finally understand about yourself. Some days, letting someone else pick really is exactly right. You're allowed to save your yes for the choices that are actually yours to want. If that pull to hand the choice away felt familiar, like I was describing a Tuesday you've lived 100 times, I write a little letter for people who feel this kind of thing softly. It's the sticky note newsletter, linked right below. I'd love to have you there. You're allowed to save your yes for the things that matter. I'll see you next time.